welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's your girl Shivangi. If you're seeing my face for the first time, make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and of course the bell notification button so that you don't miss out on any of my videos. I make a lot of videos on fashion, fashion education, a little bit of my everyday life, some travel here and there. And basically, this channel doesn't come with a strict category. But since I come from a design background, I like sharing my knowledge with all of you guys who like to come here and listen to me talk, thankfully. So today's topic of discussion is the difference between fashion communication and fashion design. And I know a lot of you have been asking me this question of late, and a lot of you guys who are in your 11th or 12th or 10th or 9th or whatever grade it is that you're in, you have this one doubt: which stream is better and what is the difference between the two streams. So today we're just going to focus on that. I'm going to break it down very simple, very easy for you to understand, so that there are no complications and baat bhi samajh aa jaye. So without wasting any time, let's get into this video. Right, as the name already suggests, fashion communication is all about the communication part of fashion, and fashion design is all about the design part of fashion. So basically, they're two very, very different streams tied together by this only one thread, which is fashion, right? I have done detailed videos on both the streams in the past, and I'm going to leave this, links in the description box so that you can go through it, see it, understand what all fashion communication has to offer in depth and what all fashion design has to offer in depth. But I'm going to give you a quick overview. With fashion communication, you're doing a lot of subjects which are related to graphics, which are related to journalism, which are related to visual merchandising, which are related to 3D Max. You're learning softwares like Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, 3D Max, CorelDRAW, all of that jazz. In design, you're basically learning how to communicate, how to put across your message once the product is ready. While on the other hand, in fashion design, you are actually creating the product. बेसिक यहाँ आप प्रोडक्ट क्रिएट कर रहे हो, यहाँ प्रोडक्ट को कम्युनिकेट कैसे करोगे, आप बेचोगे कैसे, हाउ वुड यू मार्केट इट, हाउ वुड यू create a story around it, how would you sell it. That's all that the communication department does. Fashion photography, of course, is also a very integral part of fashion communication. While on the other hand, with fashion design, you are actually working with fabrics, you are actually stitching a garment, you are actually doing the embroideries, you're learning the craft of block printing, the craft of batik, the craft of tie and dye. You're doing all of those hand techniques, that you might or might not end up using later on in your life or careers. But it's basically more hands-on. You're doing a lot of handwork, you're actually stitching, sitting on a machine for long hours, you're sketching illustrations, you're turning those fashion illustrations into a real product at the end of the day. In communication, fashion communication, or the FC department on the other hand, you're actually creating a narrative around that particular product. So say for example, if it's a garment or if it's a bridal gown, from shooting that gown to making the graphics for, say, the launch of the bridal range, to creating 3D renderings of it, to creating a story around it, to doing a visual merchandising like a window display for it. Everything which comes around that product is communication. Everything that is the product is fashion design. I hope this little breakdown has helped clear your doubts about fashion communication and fashion design. Now, talking about which is more feasible, what should I take up, should I study fashion communication, should I study fashion design? Listen, there's no right or wrong answer to this. Very, very honestly, there is no right or wrong answer. If somebody gives you an answer, they're wrong themselves, because this is something that you have to decide yourself. This is something that I had to decide myself when I chose fashion design. This is something you will have to choose for yourself. Of course, it's not easy. There are pros and cons to both the departments, and not really like to the departments per se, but to your personal, whatever aspirations you have in the future for yourself. It depends a lot on that. So your con list and your pro list will be dependent on that. But what I can tell you is both the fields are equally important and equally lucrative. if you're working hard enough and if you're smart enough. There are lots of ifs here because you can't just take up a department and be like बस अब life set है. ऐसे life set नहीं होती है. You have to work and make sure कि आप life set करो. And so whether it's fashion communication, where you might end up becoming like a stylist or like a fashion photographer or a visual merchandiser, or like a fashion marketing professional or a digital marketing professional, or like a graphics designer, UI UX designer. If you want to do all of that, then fashion communication is your calling. If working a lot on the computer is also your thing, because communication focuses a lot on softwares. If on the other hand you are a traditionalist and you want to actually make and create the garment, you want to actually touch and feel, and you enjoy that part of design and of fashion where you actually bring something to life from a mere sketch, whether it is the stitching, the draping, the pattern making, the embroidery, the embellishments, the dyeing, everything. If being involved in all of those things is what is your true calling, you can end up becoming like a good fashion designer for some multinational company, or some company like a Madura or an Arvind Mills. If you want to get in the corporate sector, if you want to get into bridal, if you want to get into breadth but under a designer, you can, you know, do the same. You could work under some designers, whether it is bridal wear designers or breadth designers, menswear designers, women's wear designers, kids wear designers. The categories are immense. Lingerie designer, there's so much you can do. And also one thing that I cannot stress enough on is that I've said it so many times in the past also, and I'd like to say it again one last time, hopefully, that the lines in the fashion industry are really blurred out. Like, you can hop, skip and jump into another department or another field altogether and nobody's gonna raise eyebrows, because the field itself, the department of fashion or the industry of fashion itself is so blurred out. No, everybody can do everything. A textile designer ends up becoming a fashion designer, or a home decor designer, or a stylist, or you know, a visual merchandiser, or a jewelry designer. Nobody questions here. There are no eyebrows raised. So one of the best things about I think our industry is that the lines are really blurred out. You just have to work hard enough to make sure that your portfolio is strong enough to give you enough credibility that you can actually apply for those jobs and get those jobs or switch, you know, within the industry. So that's all the information that I wanted to share with all of you. I hope this video helps clear your doubts and makes you understand better what the fashion design department or the fashion communication department has to offer and how they're different, and also eases out your stress of choosing a field, because honestly, if you want to really do something, you can switch. It'll take a little while, but you can always switch. It's not a hard, like, you know, it's not a hard and fast rule that you have to be in the same field that you've taken up. Lots of my friends have ended up becoming like MBA graduates, getting into marketing, or just quitting altogether and getting into their family businesses. So it's very varied. There are people who've ended up, like, you know, graduated from NIFT with fashion design, ended up becoming jewelry designers, or vice versa. The lines are absolutely blurred, and that's one of the most exciting things about this industry. And yeah, enough said and done. I'm gonna go now, and I'll see you tomorrow with yet another video. Bye.